Morning everyone, standing here on number 18 Blue. Behind me you can see crews putting in irrigation. Irrigation continues to be one of our main priorities. We're trying really hard to finish up 17 and 18 Blue so we can get those holes back open and then go back to focusing solely on the gold course. But making good progress with it. You can see we've got multiple lateral lines run all the way across, and then the crews are screwing the sprinkler's head in as they go and getting really close here. So other than irrigation, we're working really hard to get greens construction done, which we'll jump around and show you guys a little bit of that here in just a second. All right, everybody, we're over here on number 1 Gold. Last week we talked a lot about new greens construction, which we're building 6 completely new greens, but the remainder of the greens are being resurfaced. And what this process entails is the crews coming in and stripping the top 3 inches of sod off the green and also off the collar. Then we'll bring some straight sand back in, incorporate that into about 6 inches deep, and then they'll regrade everything back out. And we also stripped, depending on the green, about 10 feet of the collar, which allows us to make sure all that ties in and we get any surface drainage issues resolved. So all the greens have now been stripped with the exception of number 9 Gold, which we'll probably have that done later today or tomorrow as soon as the irrigation on 18 Blue is finished. But basically the goal is get this process done, get the irrigation working, get everything set, and then as soon as the temperatures cool down just a bit for seeding bentgrass, then we'll start getting these things seeded and start the grow-in process. But again, we're hoping that in the next 4 to 6 weeks, but it really kind of depends on weather. We need some cooler nights and a little bit lower high temperatures during the day before we get there. All right, one of the other things we're working on with this project is doing bank stabilization. This is particularly critical time-wise on number 1 and number 2 Gold, because in order to get to this area along the bank here and regrade it and put the geofabric down to keep it stable, we have to do it before we seed the green so that we can get equipment up on top of the green here. So we'll be starting that really soon here on holes 1 and 2 Gold, and then doing some other bank stabilization as the project moves along. All right guys, one of the challenges with doing the new irrigation system is keeping things irrigated across the property while we make this transition. So one of the big things our crew's been working on is hand watering, pulling a water trailer around, pulling sprinklers everywhere, doing everything we can possible to fight this 100-degree weather and lack of rain to keep from losing grass on areas while we're switching out the irrigation. Jumped over here to number 5 Gold, one of the new hole constructions, and you can really see it starting to take shape. We got the bunkers in, crews are starting to add sand. We've got the greens shaped out. Like I mentioned last week, one of the most tedious processes is getting the subgrade right on the green so they can start adding the drainage, gravel and sand. So they're pretty much there now on this hole, finishing up 6 and number 7 green. Then they'll jump over to the new greens on 16 and 17. Got a pretty big shelf here on the back left, and you can see as it kind of rolls down, and then we got another little knob here and then slopes down to the front. So I'm thinking putting from back left down to the front might be a little bit tricky. Let's see how it rolls. Well, I think it's only rolling about maybe a 4 or 5 on the stimp meter, so we're not quite ready to put on it yet, but you get the idea, and the fact that how these grades are now is going to basically be our finished product once we get them grassed. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. Everything's going good. Doing everything we can to get greens planted here in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and hopefully later today or tomorrow we'll have the irrigation wrapped up here on 18 Blue and get you guys back to playing 1 through 18 Blue. Check back for more information soon.